1. Boom. Happy Friday, everybody. All aboard. I said all aboard. You're hopping aboard the Friday Sports Report Express train. We're about to roll. It's Sportscaster 89 here. We're going to get started today. We're going to do the St. Lucie Mets first. We're going to cover the game last night they had. We're also going to dive into the NHL, NBA, MLB. We're also going to give you the scores. We're going to give you the standings. We're going to give you the hop-on topics of the day, and we'll preview what's ahead tonight in the Sports Report Express train on this Friday. So let's get started. Before we do, I am Sportscaster 89. I'm a Special Olympics sport athlete that competes in basketball, track and field, bowling, and golf. I produce my own sports reports on a regular basis. I call on the Sports Report Express. You're hopping aboard today. Like I said, we're going to do the St. Lucie Mets. We're going to cover Major League Baseball. We're also going to cover the NBA, the NHL. We're also going to do the standings, show you what's going on in the standings in all three of those leagues. We're going to give you the menu for the night in the Sports Report on this Friday. We'll also dive into the hop-on tops that are going on in all three of these leagues. And before we wrap it up today, I will do a special Mother's Day tribute to all the moms out there. So stick and stay on my channel for that. I'll do a tribute to all the moms after the Sports Report Express train. So without further ado, everyone, let us get started today. Like I said, if you're hopping aboard YouTube right now, subscribe to my channel. Click notification button on the right-hand side where you get all my live videos. So like I said, click and subscribe to my channel. I am Sportscaster 89. I am a special and sport athlete that competes in basketball, track and field, bowling, and golf. I'm on the USA Games Board of Directors for next year's USA Games in Orlando. I'm also on the AIC, which is the Athlete Input Council. I'm also an athlete leader in Special Olympics Florida. So I've also gone to Buccaneer games. I've gone to Dolphin games. I'm also a special correspondent for CBS 12. Shout outs to Anna Logan, John Evanson. Shout outs to WPBF 25, Felicia Rodriguez, Tiffany Kenny, Tom McDermott, Chris Martinez, Mike Lyons. Shout outs to WPTV, Shannon Cake, Jay Cashmere, Tanya Rogers, Michael Williams, John Shaman, Kate Wenzel, Steve Weigel, Katya Hall, James Whelan, Steve Villanueva. I'm shouting all you guys out today. Matt Lincoln, Ashley Glass, Terry Hornstein, Sam Kerrigan, Lauren Oleski, Vitas Reed, Liz Carantes, Jim Grimes, Michael Ehrenberg, Stephanie Valderrama, Zach Covey. Shouting all you guys out today, tagging you all in this video today. We're about to do our Sports Report Express train right now. Let's start with the St. Lucie Mets. St. Lucie Mets shut out the Jupiter Hammerheads last night by a final score of 9-0. Garrison Bryant, the star for the Mets, blanked Jupiter for 5 innings. He only scattered 3 singles in this one last night, struck out 5 on 74 pitches to earn the win last night for the St. Lucie Mets. Colby Morris followed with 3 strikeouts in relief for St. Lucie, 2 perfect innings for Colby Morris. Then William McCall and Austin Faith handled the 8th and the 9th respectively. The 4 pitchers combined to strike out 10 Hammerhead hitters last night for the St. Lucie Mets. Bryant and the pitching staff of the Mets got all the run support they needed in the first couple of innings. The first 4 Mets hitters in the bottom of the frame in the first recorded hits. 3 scored. Shurian Newton ripped an RBI double to plate Peter Crow Armstrong that began the Mets scoring all night. Matt Dyer punished the RBI triple late in the frame to make it 3-0 Mets early on. The Mets scored three more times against Jupiter starter Chris Machma. In the second, Newton brought in a run with a grounder. Another one scored on a throwing error. Francisco Alvarez lifted a sac fly for the Mets, which they led at the time 6-0. Then, after a long scoreless spell, Yo Romero added another sac fly to make it 7-0 Mets in the 6th. Then, Brandon Fryman finished the scoring for the Mets when he ripped a 2-run double in the 7th to make it 9-0 Mets. Fryman on the game for the Mets went 2 for 3, also drew a walk. Crow Armstrong went 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. He also had an on-base streak of 7 straight plate appearances snapped when he grounded out in the 4th. The Mets go to 2-1. Their run differential is plus 18. St. Lucie's 2-1. They'll play Jupiter once again tonight at Clover Park at 6:10. It's special ones go for gold night. Once again, St. Lucie shuts out Jupiter last night by a final score of 9-0. Like I said, you guys, Garrison Bryant got the win for St. Lucie. Chris Mockmo got the loss for Jupiter. Tonight's matchup will be Matt Gibbon on the mound for Jupiter against Junior Santos and the St. Lucie Mets. 6:10 is first pitch tonight from Clover Park once again. Your pitching matchup, Matt Gibbon for Jupiter against Junior Santos and the St. Lucie Mets. Don't forget, you guys, special ones go for gold night once again. The Mets will be wearing specialized jerseys. You can bid on the Live Source app. Fans can bid on the Live Source app. You download the Live Source app. You bid on the jersey that they're wearing. They're specialized jerseys. All the proceeds that the jerseys are going to be sold on Live Source will be going towards Special Olympics St. Lucie. All the proceeds will go to Special Olympics St. Lucie. So don't forget, you guys, they play tonight at 6:10, and they play tomorrow night at 6:10 Eastern Time. There'll be fireworks after the game tomorrow night. Don't forget, St. Lucie, Jupiter tonight, 6:10 Eastern Time. It's Special Olympics Go for Gold night once again. The Mets be wearing specialized jerseys, Team USA specialized jerseys tonight. So it's the Mets, the Hammerheads, in the fourth game of the season of their series of a 6-game series between these two squads. Mets and Hammerheads tonight, 6:10 Eastern Time. Your pitching matchup once again, Matt Gibbon for Jupiter against Junior Santos and the St. Lucie Mets. The Mets defeated the Hammerheads last night by a final score of 9-0. Now, with that said, everyone, let's go to the MLB. Let's look at the scores from yesterday from Major League Baseball. Let's take a look at yesterday's action from the Diamond. And we'll start in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. Jose Altuve hit a big 2-run shot to give the Astros a 5-3 lead. Then Yordan Alvarez for the Astros added insurance with a 2-run shot of his own. The Astros defeat the Yankees yesterday afternoon by a final count of 7-4. Andre Scrub gets the win for Houston. He goes to 1-0. Chad Green suffers a defeat for the Yankees. Alex Presley gets the save for the Houston Astros, his 5th on the season. The Astros beat the Yankees in the finale of a 3-game series, 7-4. Once again, Andre Scrub gets the win for Houston. Chad Green gets a loss for the Bronx Bombers. Alex Presley gets the save for the Houston Astros, his 5th on the season. The Astros defeat the Bronx Bombers yesterday afternoon at Yankee Stadium by 3 runs by a final score of 7-4. Next, let's head to Philly as the Phillies took on the Brewers. The Phillies defeat the Brewers in a shutout 2-0. Zach Wheeler gets the win for Philly. He goes to 3-2 on the season. Brandon Woodruff falls to 2-1 for Milwaukee. The Phillies shut out the Brewers in Philadelphia yesterday afternoon by a final score of 2-0. Next, we had the Fenway Park in Boston. The Red Sox took on the Tigers yesterday. The Red Sox get the win by 3 runs at home over Detroit, 12-9. Matt Andriese gets the win for Boston. He goes to 1-1. Lane gets a loss for Detroit. He goes to 0-1. Adam Ottavino gets a save for Boston, his 1st on the season. The Red Sox defeat the Tigers by 3 at home at Fenway Park, 12-9. Once again, Matt Andriese gets the win for the Red Sox. Lane gets a loss for the Tigers. And Adam Ottavino gets his 1st save of the season for the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox defeat the Tigers yesterday at Fenway Park in their series finale yesterday by a final score of 12-9. Next, we head to Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Rangers defeat the Twins by a run at Target Field yesterday in extras, 4-3. Hearn gets the victory for the Rangers. Duffy will suffer the defeat for the Twins. And Sabores gets the save for the Texas Rangers. The Rangers defeat the Twins by a run yesterday afternoon at Target Field by a final score of 4-3 in extras. The Mets wrapped up their series in St. Louis yesterday with a victory over the Cardinals, 4-1. Taijuan Walker gets the victory. He goes to 2-1 for the Mets. John Gant drops to 2-3 for St. Louis. Edwin Diaz gets his 4th save for the Metropolitans. The Mets get the win over St. Louis yesterday by 3 runs at Busch Stadium in their series finale, 4-1. Walker gets the win for the Mets. John Gant suffers the defeat for the Cardinals. Edwin Diaz gets his 4th save of the season for the Mets. The Mets defeat the Cardinals by 3 runs at Busch Stadium yesterday, 4-1. Next, we go to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. The Royals took on the Indians in the finale of their series yesterday between these AL Central rivals. The Indians shut out the Royals by a final score of 4-0. McKenzie gets the win for Cleveland. The loss goes to Duffy for the Kansas City Royals. The Indians shut out the Royals yesterday from Kansas City 4-0. Next, we had the Marine Coliseum in Oakland. The Blue Jays and A's wrapped up their series yesterday afternoon from Marine Coliseum in Oakland. The Blue Jays get the win over the A's yesterday by a final score of 10-4. Hyun-Jin Ryu gets the win for Toronto. He goes to 2-2. Mike Fiers suffers a loss for Oakland. He goes to 0-2. The Blue Jays defeat the A's yesterday in the wrap-up of their series from Marine Coliseum in Oakland, 10-4 in favor of Toronto. Next, we had the Nationals Park in D.C. The Braves took on the Nationals yesterday. It was the game of the week on YouTube, the MLB game of the week on YouTube. The Braves get the victory over the Nationals in the finale of their series in D.C. The Braves get the win by a run, 3-2. Drew Smyly gets the win for Atlanta. He goes to 1-2. John Lester gets a loss for Washington. He goes to 0-1. And Will Smith gets the save for Atlanta, his 7th on the season. The Braves defeat the Nationals at Nationals Park in D.C. by a run, 3-2. Next, we had the Lone Depot Park in Miami last night. The Marlins took on the Diamondbacks as they sweep Arizona, winning this one by a final score of 3-1. Miguel Rojas hit a home run in the bottom of the first inning against Madison Bumgarner, and then Adam Duvall added an insurance home run for the Marlins yesterday as they swept the D-backs yesterday by a final score of 3-1. Floro gets the win for Miami. He goes to 2-1. Bakakis gets a loss for Arizona, goes to 1-1 in the year, and Yuri Garcia gets a save for Miami, his 5th on the season. The Marlins sweep the D-backs by a final score of 3-1. Floro gets a win for Miami, goes to 2-1 once again. Bakakis gets a loss for Arizona, goes to 1-1. And Yuri Garcia gets a save for Miami, his 5th on the season. The Marlins sweep the D-backs 3-1. And finally, the last game of the Friday Sports Report Express in MLB was last night at Angel Stadium. The Angels took on the Rays. The Rays sweep the Angels last night, and all 4 of these games by a final score of 8-3. Fleming gets the win for the Tampa Bay Rays. Mayers gets a loss for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The Rays defeat the Angels last night by a final score of 8-3. Let's look at this. Let's look at the menu that's ahead on the Sports Report Express train on this Friday. We'll start this afternoon from Wrigley Field in Chicago. It's a National League Central showdown between the Cubs and Pirates. It'll be Trevor Cahill on the mound against Zach Davies and the Chicago Cubs at 2:20 this afternoon. Cubs and Pirates, a National League Central showdown this afternoon from the north side at Wrigley Field. Cubs and Pirates, Trevor Cahill against Zach Davies and the Chicago Cubs. This evening from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, it'll be the Bronx Bombers taking on the Washington Nationals in the first of a 3-game weekend interleague series between these two squads. It'll be Jameson Taillon for the New York Yankees on the mound against Patrick Corbin and the Washington Nationals. It's Corbin against Taillon, 7:05 tonight from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It'll be the Nationals and Bronx Bombers going at it in the first of a 3-game weekend interleague series. Now we go to Baltimore, Camden Yards. It'll be the Orioles at home against the Boston Red Sox tonight. It'll be Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for Boston. He'll be opposed by Matt Harvey and the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles-Red Sox tonight from Camden Yards at 7:05. Rodriguez against Matt Harvey and the Baltimore Orioles. The D-backs will head to Citi Field in Flushing, New York to take on the Mets this weekend. The start of a 3-game weekend series, it'll be Zach Gallen on the mound for the Diamondbacks against Peterson and the New York Mets. First pitch between the two squads will be 7:10 Eastern Time. The Mets at home tonight at Citi Field against Arizona. Zach Gallen on a mound against Peterson and the Mets. 7:10 first pitch from Citi Field in Flushing. We go to Progressive Field in Cleveland. It's the Reds and Indians going at it tonight. It'll be Zach Plesac on the mound for the Cleveland Indians. He'll be opposed by Wade Miley and the Cincinnati Reds. It's the Reds and Indians in the start of a 3-game weekend series between these two rivals, the Reds and Indians from Progressive Field at 7:10 tonight. It's Wade Miley against Zach Plesac and the Cleveland Indians. Next, we head to Comerica Park in Detroit. It's the Twins and Tigers going at it from Comerica Park in Detroit. 7:10 first pitch tonight. It'll be Schoolboy for Detroit against Matt Shoemaker and the Minnesota Twins. Now, we head to South Florida in Miami at Lone Depot Park in Miami. It's the Brewers taking on the Marlins in the start of a 3-game weekend series. It'll be Suter on the mound for the Brewers against Trevor Rogers and the Miami Marlins. It's the 3-game weekend series between these two squads, Brewers and Marlins. Suter on the mound for Milwaukee against Trevor Rogers and the Miami Marlins. Next, we head to Truist Park in Atlanta. It's going to be the Braves and the Phillies going at in the first of a 3-game weekend series between these two National League East rivals. The Phillies will send to the mound tonight Zach Eflin. His record's 1-1 a year. The Braves will send to the mound Charlie Morton on the bump tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies. Charlie Morton is 2-1 on the season. Zach Eflin is 1-1 for Philadelphia. It's the Braves and the Phillies going at this weekend at Truist Park in Atlanta. It's Charlie Morton versus Zach Eflin and the Philadelphia Phillies. We go to Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas tonight. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. The Rangers will take on the Mariners tonight at 8:05 Eastern Time in the first of a 3-game weekend series between these AL West rivals. Mike Foltynewicz will be on the mound for Texas. The starter for the Mariners has yet to be determined. We'll figure that out a little later on. So the Rangers will take on the Mariners tonight in the first of a 3-game weekend series from Arlington. Mike Foltynewicz on the mound for Texas. The starter for Seattle has yet to be determined. We'll figure that out a little later on. Next, we go to Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. It'll be the Toronto Blue Jays on the road against the Houston Astros. It's Ross Stripling on the mound for Toronto. He'll be opposed by Jose Urquidy of the Houston Astros. It's the Astros Blue Jays at 8:10 Eastern Time tonight from Minute Maid Park in Houston. Ross Stripling on the mound against Jose Urquidy and the Houston Astros. Next, we go to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. It's an AL Central showdown between the White Sox and the Royals. It'll be Rondon for the Chicago White Sox tonight on the mound. He'll be opposed by Brad Keller and the Kansas City Royals. It's the White Sox and Royals tonight in the first of a 3-game weekend series from Kansas City between these AL Central rivals. The White Sox Royals, it'll be Rondon on the mound for the White Sox against Brad Keller and the Kansas City Royals. The Rockies will head to Busch Stadium tonight in St. Louis of the start of a 3-game weekend series from St. Louis. It'll be Austin Gomber on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. He'll be up against Jack Flaherty and the St. Louis Cardinals. It's the Rockies and Cardinals game 1 of a 3-game weekend series starting tonight at Busch Stadium. Austin Gomber versus Jack Flaherty and the St. Louis Cardinals. We have the Freeway Series tonight from Angel Stadium in Anaheim. It'll be the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the defending World Series champions, going at it in the first of a 3-game weekend series. It's the Freeway Series between these two squads. It'll be Julio Urias on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He'll be opposed by Andrew Canning and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. It's the Dodgers and Angels, the first of a 3-game weekend series, the Freeway Series between these two squads. Next, let's head to Ring Coliseum in Oakland, California. It'll be the A's and the Rays starting a 3-game weekend series from Oakland out west. 9:40 Eastern Time. It'll be Rich Hill on the mound for the Rays against Sean Manaea and the Oakland A's. It's the A's and Rays from Ring Coliseum in Oakland. 9:40 tonight. The first of a 3-game weekend series between the A's and the Rays. And finally, to wrap up the Friday slate on the Sports Report Express in the MLB, it's the Padres and Giants going out from Oracle Park in San Francisco. It'll be Blake Snell on the mound for the San Diego Padres against Anthony DeSclafani and the San Francisco Giants. It's the Padres-Giants tonight to round out The MLB action on this Friday Sports Report Express train, it's Blake Snell on the mound against Anthony DeSclafani and the San Francisco Giants. Let's take a look at the up-to-date standings in Major League Baseball. We will start in the American League East. It goes Boston number 1, Tampa Bay number 2, Toronto, the Bronx Bombers, and the Baltimore Orioles round out the American League East standings. Now let's go to the Central. It starts the Cleveland Indians, the Chicago White Sox, the Kansas City Royals, the Minnesota Twins, and the Detroit Tigers that round out the American League Central standings. Let's go to the American League West. It starts with the Oakland A's number 1, the Mariners number 2, the Astros number 3, the Rangers number 4, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim round out the teams in the American League West standings. Now let's head to the National League standings. The Philadelphia Phillies are number 1 at 17-15, followed by the Mets at 500 at 13-13, the Braves at 15-16, the Marlins are 14-16, and finally the Nationals at 12-15. Over in the National League Central we go. It's the Cardinals number 1, followed by the Brewers, the Cubs, the Reds, the Pirates. In the National League West we go. It's the Giants number 1, the Padres number 2, the Dodgers number 3, the D-backs number 4, and the Rockies number 5. Once again, let's repeat the standings for you all. We'll start in the American League East. It's the Red Sox number 1, followed by the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Bronx Bombers, and the Orioles. In the American League Central, it goes the Indians number 1, the White Sox number 2, the Royals number 3, the Twins number 4, and the Tigers round out the American League Central standings. Over in the American League West we go. It's the Oakland A's, followed by the Seattle Mariners, the Houston Astros, the Texas Rangers, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Now we go to the National League East. And it goes like this, everyone. It starts the Philadelphia Phillies number 1, the Mets number 2, the Braves number 3, the Marlins number 4, the Nationals, and last in the National League East. Over to the National League Central we go. It's the Cardinals number 1, followed by the Brewers, the Cubs, the Reds, the Pirates. Now we go to the National League West standings. It's the San Francisco Giants number 1, followed by the Padres, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies. That rounds out your standings in both the American League and the National League. Now, let's head to the NBA. Let's talk about last night's action in the association, everybody. So last night we start in Charlotte. It's the Bulls defeating the Hornets in Charlotte last night by a final score of 120-99. Next, we had the Amalie Arena in Tampa, where the Wizards get an overtime victory over the Raptors by 2, 131-129. The Brooklyn Nets have lost a season-high 4 in a row. Kyrie Irving had 45 points last night, but was not enough as Brooklyn loses to Dallas last night by 4, 113-109. The Grizzlies get blown out in Detroit last night, 111-97. The Pacers get a big win last night at home at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, defeating the Hawks by 7, 133-126. The Warriors blow out the Thunder last night at Chase Center in San Fran, 118-97. And finally, it was the Clippers and Lakers last night from downtown Los Angeles at the Staples Center. The Clippers blowing out the Lakers last night, 118-94. Once again, let's repeat the scores for you all one more time. The Bulls defeat the Hornets in Charlotte last night by a final count of 120-99. The Wizards get an overtime victory over the Raptors at Amalie Arena last night in Tampa by 2, 131-129. The Brooklyn Nets have lost a season-high 4 in a row, losing to the Mavericks last night in Dallas by 4, 113-109. Kyrie Irving had 45 points for the Brooklyn Nets, but was not enough. The Mavericks get the victory over the Nets by 4, 113-109. Next, we head to Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. The Pistons blow out the Grizzlies last night by a final score of 111-97. The Pacers defeat the Hawks last night at home from Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis by 7, 133-126. The Warriors defeat the Thunder at home at Chase Center in San Fran last night by a final score of 118-97. And finally, the Lakers took on the Clippers last night from downtown Los Angeles at the Staples Center. The Clippers blow out the Lakers last night 118-94. Now, let's take a look at tonight's action in the association. We have big games tonight with huge playoff implications. We'll start in Philadelphia. It'll be the Sixers and the Pelicans going at 7 o'clock. It's an NBA Friday double dip. It's a big one for both these teams on the Friday night double dip on ESPN. It'll start in Chicago. It's the Celtics taking on the Bulls at 7:30 from the United Center in Chicago at 7:30 on ESPN. Next, we had the Charlotte as the Magic head to Charlotte take on the Hornets at 8 o'clock. The Heat will take on the Timberwolves from American Airlines Arena in Miami. The Bucks will be at home at Pfizer Forum to take on the Rockets at 8 o'clock. The Mavericks will continue. They'll play a back-to-back tonight against the Cavs at home at American Airlines Center in Dallas. The Jazz will take on the Nuggets at 9 o'clock from Salt Lake City, Utah. The Lakers will take on the Blazers in a back-to-back as well. They'll take on Dame Dollar and CJ McCollum and the Blazers tonight at 10 on ESPN. And finally, to wrap up the Friday Report Express in the association, it's the Sacramento Kings at home at Golden One Center to take on the San Antonio Spurs. Once again, let's repeat the games that you got to see tonight with huge playoff implications. The Sixers will take on the Pelicans at 7 o'clock from Wells Fargo Center in Philly. The Celtics will take on the Bulls from the United Center in Chicago. This is a big game on ESPN tonight. It's NBA Friday. It's a double dip. It'll start in Chicago. The Bulls will take on the Celtics at 7:30. The Hornets will take on the Magic from Charlotte. The Heat will take on the Timberwolves from Miami. The Bucks will take on the Rockets from Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee. The Mavericks will take on the Cavaliers in a back-to-back situation at American Airlines Center at 8:30. Next, we head to Salt Lake City, Utah, as the Jazz will take on the Nuggets at 9 o'clock. The Lakers will be on the road to take on Dame Dollar and CJ McCollum and the Portland Trailblazers at 10 o'clock on ESPN. The Kings will take on the San Antonio Spurs from Golden One Center in Sacramento. And finally, to wrap up the night in the NBA, a big one for the New York Knicks as they're on the road at Talking Sticks Arena in Phoenix to take on the Phoenix Suns, who are in second in the Western Conference. Now, let's take a look at the up-to-the-date standings in the association. Let's start in the East. It goes the Sixers number 1, the Nets number 2, the Bucks number 3, the Knicks number 4, the Hawks number 5, the Celtics are number 6, the Heat are number 7, and the Charlotte Hornets number 8. Outside the top 8 in the Eastern Conference, it's the Indiana Pacers, the Washington Wizards, the Chicago Bulls, the Toronto Raptors, the Orlando Magic, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Detroit Pistons. Now, let's head to the Western Conference, everyone. It goes like this. The Jazz are number 1, followed by the Suns number 2, the Clippers number 3, the Nuggets number 4, the Mavericks number 5, the Lakers number 6, the Portland Trailblazers number 7, and the Golden State Warriors occupying the 8th spot in the West. Outside top 8 in the Western Conference, it'll be the Memphis Grizzlies, followed by the Spurs, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Sacramento Kings, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Houston Rockets. Let's repeat those standings in the East and the West for everybody again. The Philadelphia 76ers are number 1 in the Eastern Conference, followed by the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, the New York Knicks, the Atlanta Hawks, the Boston Celtics, the Miami Heat, the Charlotte Hornets. That's your top 8 in the East. Outside of top 8, it goes Indiana, Washington, Chicago, Toronto, Orlando, Cleveland, and Detroit. Now let's go to the Western Conference. It goes Utah number 1, followed by the Suns, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Trailblazers, the Warriors. That's your 8 in the West that occupy the top 8. Outside the top 8, it's the Grizzlies, the Spurs, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, and the Rockets. That's your standings in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Now, let's go to the NHL. And we take a look at the scores from last night in the NHL. We'll start with last night. The Rangers get shut out by the Bruins last night 4-0. The Blackhawks defeat the Hurricanes in overtime at PNC Arena in Raleigh 2-1. The Devils defeat the Islanders last night from Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum 2-1. The Sabres lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins last night by a final score of 8-4. The Maple Leafs defeat the Canadiens by a final score of 5-2. And the Canucks defeat the Oilers by 3 goals, 6-3. Once again, we'll repeat the scores for you all one more time in the National Hockey League from last night. The Bruins shut out the Rangers 4-0. The Blackhawks defeat the Hurricanes in overtime 2-1. The Devils defeat the Islanders by the same score 2-1. The Penguins beat the Sabres in Pittsburgh last night by a final score of 8-4. The Maple Leafs defeat the Canadiens by a final score of 5-2. And the Canucks defeat the Oilers last night in Edmonton by 3 goals, 6-3. Now, let's take a look at tonight's action across the National Hockey League. We'll start at Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay, It's going to be the Lightning against the Stars at 7 o'clock. Once again, the Lightning will take on Dallas at Amalie Arena in Tampa at 7 o'clock tonight. Also at 7 o'clock tonight at Capital One Arena in D.C., it's the Flyers and the Capitals going at it at 7 o'clock. Next, we head to Nationwide Arena in Columbus. It'll be Detroit taking on Columbus. Next, we head to XL Center in St. Paul. It'll be the Ducks and the Wild going at it in the West. And then this evening, you have 3 late games out west. It's St. Louis against Vegas, Colorado against Los Angeles, in downtown Los Angeles at the Staples Center. And finally, it'll be the Arizona Coyotes against the San Jose Sharks out west. Once again, let's repeat the games that are going on this evening on the Friday Sports Report Express. In hockey, it's the Dallas Stars against the Tampa Bay Lightning at 7 o'clock. The Flyers will take on the Capitals from Capital One Arena in D.C. The Red Wings will take on the Blue Jackets from Nationwide Arena in Columbus. The Ducks will take on the Minnesota Wild from XL Center in St. Paul. And the 3 games out west will be the Blues taking on the Golden Knights in Vegas. The Los Angeles Kings entertain the Colorado Avalanche from downtown Los Angeles at the Staples Center. And finally, the Arizona Coyotes will take on the San Jose Sharks from San Jose. That'll round out the Friday Sports Report Express on this Friday. We'll go to the standings in hockey. Let's start in the East. It's the Penguins number 1, the Capitals number 2, the Bruins number 3, the Islanders number 4. Outside top 4 in the East, it's the Rangers, the Flyers, the Devils, and the Sabres. Now, let's take a look at the Discover Central Division. It starts with Carolina number 1, Tampa Bay, Florida, Nashville. Outside top 4 in the Central, the Dallas Stars, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the Detroit Red Wings. Now, let's go to the Honda West standings, and they start with the Vegas Golden Knights number 1, followed by the Colorado Avalanche, the Minnesota Wild, and the St. Louis Blues. Outside the top 4 in the Honda West, it goes Arizona, LA, San Jose, Anaheim. That's your teams outside the top 4 in the West. In the Scotia North Division, here we go with that. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs number 1, the Edmonton Oilers number 2, the Winnipeg Jets number 3, and the Montreal Canadiens number 4. Now, outside top 4 in the Scotia North, it's the Calgary Flames, the Ottawa Senators, and the Vancouver Canucks round out the Scotia North Division. Once again, let's repeat the standings for you all. We'll start in the Eastern Conference. It goes like this: the Penguins, the Capitals, the Bruins, the Islanders. Next, the Rangers, the Flyers, the Devils, and the Sabres. Now, to the Central Division we go. It's Carolina, followed by Tampa Bay, the Florida Panthers, the Nashville Predators. Then it's the Dallas Stars, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Detroit Red Wings. Now, to the Honda West we go. It's Vegas number 1, followed by Colorado, Minnesota, St. Louis. Next, it's Arizona, Los Angeles, San Jose, Anaheim. Now, to the Scotia North we go. It's Toronto, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Montreal, Calgary, Ottawa, Vancouver. And now, let's take a look at the hot button topic. We'll start in the National Hockey League. Let's take a look at the Stanley Cup playoff buzz. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's look at the Stanley Cup playoff buzz. We look at it. We look at the races for the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs. There are 12 days left in the regular season. 3 of the 16 spots in the Stanley Cup playoffs are available. 1 in the 7-team Scotia North, 1 in the 8-team Discover Central Division, and 1 in the 8-team Honda West Division. 4 berths in the 4 berths in the N8-team Mass Mutual East Division have been clinched, but still there's battles for playoff positioning. They're tight in each division. Let's take a look at the games tonight that'll impact the clinching scenarios in hockey. We'll start with Carolina. They can clinch to the Central Division if Dallas defeats Tampa Bay tonight in regulation. Nashville can clinch a playoff berth if the Lightning defeat the Stars in regulation. The Blues can clinch a playoff berth tonight if they defeat Vegas in any fashion, and Colorado defeats LA at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles in any fashion. Or if they get 1 point, the Golden Knights and the Avalanche defeat the Kings in regulation. There are 7 games tonight with playoff implications. Let's take a look at all 7 of these games. We'll start with Tampa Bay and Dallas. Dallas, who will be eliminated tonight with a regulation loss from playoff contention. They trail the 4th-place Nashville Predators by 4 with 3 games to go. If the Stars are eliminated, they'll be the first team to miss the playoffs the season after reaching the Stanley Cup final since the New Jersey Devils did it back in 2012, 2013. The Lightning have won 2 straight, and they're 5 points behind first-place Carolina in the Central. Tampa Bay is tied for second with Florida and has 3 games to play. The Panthers have 2 games to go. Next, let's head to Washington and Philadelphia. The Capitals can move into a tie for first place with the Penguins in the East Division with a victory. They are 2 points behind Pittsburgh with 2 games in hand. Washington is 2 points ahead of third-place Boston. The Capitals have won 5 in a row in the regular season series between the Flyers, who have been eliminated from playoff contention. Next, we head to St. Paul, Minnesota, where the Wild will take on the Ducks tonight in a huge game for Minnesota. The Wild are third in the West. They're 1 point behind second-place Colorado, but have played 1 more game. Minnesota has won 5 in a row against the Ducks this season in their regular season series, who have been eliminated from playoff contention. Now, let's look at Vegas and St. Louis. The Blues can clinch a playoff berth tonight with a win and an Avalanche win over the Kings, or 1 point and an Avalanche regulation win against the Kings. You got all that? Great. Now, St. Louis, which is 5 games remaining, is 4th in the West. They're 8 points ahead of 6th place Los Angeles, who has 5 games to go, as the only team in the division behind the Blues that can catch them. The Golden Knights are first in the West. They're 4 points ahead of second place Colorado. Colorado and Los Angeles. This is the final game that has playoff implications tonight on a Friday edition of the Sports Report Express. So here we go. Colorado is second in the West. They're 4 points behind first place Vegas and 1 point ahead of third place Minnesota. LA will be eliminated tonight if they lose to Colorado. St. Louis defeats Vegas, or if they lose in regulation, the Blues will get a point. LA is 6th in the West. They're 8 points behind St. Louis. Each team has 5 games to go. So that's the NHL. Let's take a look at the NBA. Hop on topic. All right, everyone, let's get to the NBA hot button topic that everybody's talking about today on this Friday Sports Report Express. Let's take a look at the Warriors. They've moved up to 8th in the West. And let me tell you, this play-in tournament is going to be really, really interesting. But we have a big showdown tonight. Let's take a look. The Lakers will take on the Blazers tonight in a Friday night showdown with huge playoff implications in the NBA tonight in the Western Conference. This is a big game tonight for both teams. When we look at the Lakers season, it feels like a reversal of popular arena rock standard. They get up, but they get knocked down again. Anthony Davis, who got injured last night, who was playing just 30 games, exited 9 minutes after the game last night against the Clippers due to an initial ankle sprain and ultimately back spasms. So the Lakers immediately fell apart in what should have been a critical acclaimed game between these crosstown rivals. The Clippers led by as many as 25 in this game last night and never trailed less than 15 after halftime. While the outcome was significant for the Clippers, who jumped back to 3rd in the West, the microscope is fully extended and focused on the defending champs. LeBron did not play last night, wasn't even in the building, simply because he just wasn't here. This is what Coach Vogel had to say last night for the Lakers. That raised eyebrows everywhere, as well as LA's desperation entering Friday's enormous game tonight. They have a huge game tonight against Portland on ESPN, which you can see preceding the Bulls and the Celtics. Like I said, this is a big game for both squads in the Western Conference tonight. It has taken a perfect twist of fate and the ankles to get to this point. A must-win nationally televised game between these two teams, which are tied on the line in the standings that separate them from the play-in tournament. Neither wants anything to do with that or the latter. A bad game or two or an injury can spell postseason death before it's allowed a real chance to live. The Lakers will try to avoid that scenario without James and without Anthony Davis tonight, depending upon how his back responds after a flight to Portland this afternoon. Portland's momentum is the polar opposite. They are finally getting healthy at the right time, and the results are already showing. Portland's ideal starting 5 of Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, and Jusuf Nurkic owns a whopping plus 13.8 net rating over 250 minutes played, which is sixth best among all lineups with at least 200 minutes. Yet Portland's defense still disappears far too frequently, and even a slightly hobbled Anthony Davis could be enough to break it. Whether that happens or not could determine everything. The winner will hold the head-to-head tiebreaker, which could, in turn, determine which team gets a guaranteed 7-game playoff series, leaving the other to face a far similar margin for error. Now, let's take a look at the State Farm NBA Play-In Tournament if it started today. These would be your matchups that would determine who gets 7th in the East. Miami will take on Charlotte. The winner will get number 7. Indiana against Washington. The loser is out. The loser of 7-8 will get the winner of 7-9. The winner in the East will get the 8th spot. I'll repeat this again as we go. So in the West, it will be Portland against Golden State. The winner gets number 7. Next, you have the match between the 10 seed and the 9, which will be Memphis and San Antonio. The loser's out. The loser of 7-8 will play the winner of 9-10. The winner gets the 8th seed overall in the Western Conference. I'll repeat this again. If the play-in tournament today started, if the State Farm play-in tournament started today, this would be your matchup in the Eastern Conference. The 7 would play the 8. Miami would take on Charlotte. The winner gets number 7. The 9-10 would be the Wizards and the Pacers. The loser is done. The loser of the 7-8 would take on the winner of 9-10. The winner in the Eastern Conference gets the number 8 spot. In the West, the Blazers would take on the Warriors in the 7-8 matchup. The winner gets number 7 overall in the Western Conference. The 9 seed and the 10 seed will go at it. The loser is out. The Memphis Grizzlies would take on the San Antonio Spurs. The loser of the 7-8 would take on the winner of 9-10 in the Western Conference. You guys got all that? Tremendous. The winner of that would get the 8 seed in the Western Conference. And now, let's take a look at the hot button topic in Major League Baseball, and then we're going to wrap it up on this Friday on the Sports Report Express Train. The latest in MLB is the Los Angeles Angels with Anaheim designated Albert Pujols for assignment yesterday. That's the big story we're going to talk about. Albert Pujols has been designated for assignment with the Los Angeles Angels with Anaheim. Let's read a little bit more about it. The Angels designated future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols for assignment on Thursday, leaving the 41-year-old's playing future in limbo. Pujols is in his final deal of his historic 10-year, $253 million deal, which includes a 10-year, $10 million personal services contract once his playing days are over. General Manager Perry Minasian of the Angels said, quote, "There's never a right time for something like this," said of the move, which was first reported by MLB.com. "Obviously, I have all the respect in the world for what type of player he is. This is more about playing time and who we have." Minasian said the baseball operations department had been discussing Pujols' future for the past 2 weeks. Ultimately, deciding that Jared Walsh was the club's best option at first base. With Shohei Ohtani locked in as the Angels' DH, that left very few at-bats for Pujols, who still views himself as an everyday player. "Albert is not a bench player," Minasian said. Quote, "We felt like with him, with respect to him, keeping him on the bench, him not getting any playing time would not do him any good or the team any good at all. Never a good time for this, but with that being said, we felt like it was the best thing for the organization." In a statement earlier that day by Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, he lauded Pujols for his contributions to the Angels both on and off the field during his decade in Anaheim. The Angels organization proudly signed Pujols in 2011 and are honored that he has worn an Angels jersey for nearly half of his Hall of Fame career, Moreno said. Albert's historical achievements both on and off the field serve as an inspiration to athletes everywhere, and his actions define what it means to be a true superstar. Since his Rookie of the Year season in 2001, Albert and his wife Deirdre have generously given their time and resources to countless charities throughout the world. We are thankful to the entire Pujols family. Pujols was not in the lineup Wednesday against Rays right-hander Ryan Yarbrough, a pitcher he had enjoyed success against in the past. Joe Maddon has told Pujols last week that he would be the bulk of the playing time this week. But as the manager said Thursday, things changed, prompting Maddon to have another discussion with Pujols on Wednesday. After the game, Pujols met with Minasian and the team president, John Carpino, telling the pair that he was not ready to retire as a player, even if the Angels felt it wasn't the best option for them at the current time. He's as professional as any player I've ever dealt with, Minasian said. Quote, "There was no fight. There was no argument. This was conversation that went back and forth. He expressed feelings. We expressed ours. He understood where we stood on the whole situation. Things did not end bad. I gave him a big hug." You always want a player to have a last hurrah or have something. Albert threw that decision back at us, and then we made the decision from there, Carpino said. And it never ends the way that you really wanted to, but he handled it like a pro. Pujols had not released any statement as of last night, but he is expected to try to sign with another team once he clears waivers. That's the big story in the MLB. Albert Pujols designated for assignment for the Angels. So now that's the big story of the day. With that said, everybody, I hope you all enjoyed today's Sports Report Express on this Friday. But before we go today, let us take a minute to wish all the moms out there this weekend a happy Mother's Day. I would like to wish all the moms out there today a happy Mother's Day. Thank you, moms, for being fearless. I want to have happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love her so much. Thank you for being the fearless mom that you are. Thank you for raising me, for being my biggest cheerleader for me in my life. I really love you and honor you. And I say to you, happy Mother's Day, mom out there, and to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to you all. Thank you, moms, for being fearless. Thank you all for what you do for all of us. You're tremendous individuals who shine brightest when it matters most. So I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the moms. I love you, moms, so much. Thank you for raising me. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for being my biggest cheerleader as well. So with that said, you guys, happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Thank you all for tuning into the Sports Report Express. Like I said, once again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there this weekend. You truly are amazing individuals who do exceedingly above what you've been able to do. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mom as well. Like I said, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there this weekend. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Happy Mother's Day, moms. Thank you for being fearless, for being amazing, for doing what you do day in, day out. You grind out. You show up. You show out for all of us. Thank you, moms, for what you do. I just want to say happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for raising me. Thank you for being, thank you for molding me to the person I am. Because without you, I don't know what I would do without you. So thank you, Mom, so much. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms again. It's Mother's Day weekend. Please take time on Sunday to wish your mom happy Mother's Day. Do something nice for your mom. Spend time with her this weekend. So like I said, happy Mother's Day to moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love you so much. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for molding me to the person I am now. So thank you, moms. Thank you, Mom, very much. I love you. I support you. Happy Mother's Day to all moms. Thank you for tuning in to today's Sports Report Express on this Friday. We'll come back on Monday and we'll do it all over again once again. Before we go today, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel at SportsCaster89. Once again, to all the moms out there this weekend, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you so much. Thank you for helping me be the person I am today. Because without you, I don't know where I would be without you, Mom. So happy Mother's Day, moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Thank you so much. And happy Mother's Day once again to all the moms. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day, moms. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you all Monday for another edition of the Sports Report Express train. Love you guys. Love all the moms. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Happy Mother's Day, all the mothers out there this weekend. It's about you. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Happy Mother's Day, moms. I'll see you guys Monday for another edition of the Sports Report Express. Have a tremendous weekend. I am Sportscaster89 signing out. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Mother's Day, moms.